Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Dhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Dhari Yashodanandana Prajajanaranja Yashodanandana Prajajanaranja Jamunatira Vanachari Jamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Dhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Dhari Yashodanandana Prajajanaranja Yashodanandana Prajajanaranja Jamunatira Vanachari Jamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki, Nitai Go Premanande. I'd like to beg all the blessings from all my seniors, juniors, everyone, that I can speak on something that pleases Krishna. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Veta Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktarinda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktarinda. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktarinda. Reading Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adilila, Chapter 4, Text 31. Dhammachari ragadune kareye milan. Kab mile kab na mile devera gatan. Dhammachari ragadune kareye milan. Kab mile kab na mile devera gatan. Dhammachari range duhe kareye milan. Kabe mile kabe na mile devere gatan. Dhammachari range duhe kareye milan. Kabe mile kabe na mile devere gatan. Please chant. Mataji's? Want to try? Okay. Dharmachari, giving up religious customs. Rage, in love. Dunhe, both. Kariye, do. Milana, meeting. Kabu, sometimes. Mile, they meet. Kabu, sometimes. Na mile, they do not meet. Devira, of destiny. Gatana, the happening. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Pure attachment will unite us even at the expense of moral and religious duties, dharma. Destiny will sometimes bring us together and sometimes separate us. Purport. The gopis came out to meet Krishna in the dead of night when they heard the sound of Krishna's flute. Srila Rupa Goswami has accordingly composed a nice verse that describes the beautiful boy called Govinda standing by the bank of the Yamuna with his flute to his lips in the shining moonlight. Those who want to enjoy life in the materialistic way of society, friendship, and love should not go to the Yamuna to see the form of Govinda. The sound of Lord Krishna's flute is so sweet that it has made the gopis forget all about their relationships with their kinsmen and flee to Krishna in the dead of night. By leaving home in that way, the gopis have transgressed the Vedic regulations of household life. This indicates that when natural feelings of love for Krishna become fully manifest, a devotee can neglect conventional social rules and regulations. In the material world, we are situated in designative positions only, but pure devotional service begins when one is free from all designations. When love for Krishna is awakened, then the designated positions are overcome. The spontaneous attraction of Sri Krishna for his dearest parts and parcels generates an enthusiasm that obliges Sri Krishna and the gopis to meet together. To celebrate this transcendental enthusiasm, there is need of a sentiment of separation between the lover and beloved. In the condition of material tribulation, no one wants the pangs of separation. But in the transcendental form, the very same separation being absolute in its nature, strengthens the ties of love and enhances the desire of the lover and the beloved to meet. The period of separation evaluated transcendentally is more relishable than the actual meeting, which lacks the feelings of increasing anticipation because the lover and beloved are both present. Omegantimidandasya jnanana shalakya chakshumritam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vanchakapatarubhischa Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha Kata Chaitanya Yasmin Duskaram Sukaram Bhavet Visvite Vipriyati Shri Chaitanya Namnamitam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gauda Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared to give us this highest love of Godhead, this love in separation. Krishna has called the gopis of Vrindavan in the dead of night by blowing his transcendental flute. This flute is very glorious. The gopis are glorifying the flute. When they hear the flute being played, the gopis are thinking, what pious activities has this flute done? It's just a bamboo rod. And it's getting more nectar from Krishna's lips than we are ourselves. This nectar of Krishna's lips are our property, but this flute, which is like a non-animated object nearly, is teasing us that, yes, I'm getting more nectar from Krishna's lips than you. They say the parents of the flute must be very proud. And it said the bamboo rods born from the rivers and the trees of Vrindavan, and they're very proud of their descendant, this bamboo flute. Rupa Goswami is given a nice verse talking that if one doesn't want to lose the attachment for the material world, then they shouldn't go to Vamsivat, because there is standing Govinda in a three-bending form playing his transcendental flute. You'll lose all attachment completely. And I was just thinking, well, I'm sitting in front of Radha Govinda. We see him holding a flute, playing, standing in the three-bending form, and still attachment for the material world. Am I really seeing him? So there needs to be this eagerness to serve Krishna. And we can see the eagerness of the gopis of Vrindavan. They transgressed all Vedic regulations completely. And that's the purpose of all these rules and regulations in the Vedas. Atha bhumbi jujasvesya vanashra vibhagasa svanastastasya dharmasya samsari haritoshanam. That the purpose of all these prescribed duties, rules and regulations according to Varna and Ashram, are only meant to please the Supreme Lord Hari. So they have perfected that. One may think that it was, this, you can read in the Krishna book, but it says that they were engaged in their household duties as going. They even had babies they were feeding, they were attending to their husbands, and they just took off. They couldn't resist the call of Krishna. When that flute was being played, they heard their names being called. I only want you, please come. And to go, for a woman to go into the dead of night to meet a man, a paramour, outside of the relationship of marriage, it's pretty much social suicide. You're not coming back. There's nothing for you to come back to. Once you go, it's over. Like many times we meet people we're trying to preach to, and it's like, you know, they run into this verse, surrender to Krishna. You know, they may see it in the book, surrender to Krishna, give it all to Krishna. And then they see the monks. I remember seeing that when I first came to the temple. I saw the orange guys. and it's like, wow, they're so enthusiastic. The kirtan, the leads are so fired up, and you know, they're so bright and effulgent and happy. And it's like, could I do that too? No. I have so many things I need to achieve in this world. No way. How could I turn my back on everything? Many people ask the brahmacharis, like, especially I'm from Australia, so they go, so what's with the orange, mate? Why do you wear orange? And then, you know, you can tell them the celibacy. Yeah, we're celibate, so it means we never get married. But Australians are quite low class, so when you say, yeah, we never get married, so like, yeah, that's the way, mate. So they think like be a debauchee kind of thing. But I like the explanation my spiritual master gave that the saffron color actually that's the color of Krishna's lotus feet. And, you can see that on a sunset. There's different colors, like a pinkish, purplish, and then you got that really nice orange there. And yes, to be situated at the lotus feet of Krishna, this is the position of all of us, actually. Or you could say brahmacharya means one who always dwells in Brahman, or one who always dwells in spirit. This is the position that, or actually that's the ultimate goal of all ambitions. In the 6th canto of the Bhagavatam, it says the ultimate goal of all ambitions is to be a servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we see here that the gopis are in Madhurya Rasa. They are playing the role of Krishna's girlfriends in Padakya Rasa. Unfortunately, sahajas may play this cheaply. Yes, we are Krishna's girlfriends. One may think that it's very the dealings of young girls and young boys in this material world. But that's not the case. This is the topmost exchange of love, exchange of rasa in the spiritual world. And the material world, it's pervertically reflected. So whatever's the highest in the spiritual world becomes the lowest in the material world. Even for the materialists, for one to betray their vows in marriage is looked down upon. But the basis of why they are acting in such a way to transgress all these Vedic injunctions is just they only see themselves as maidservants of Krishna. They never saw themselves as like something superior. We have even a Vedacharya. He would dance. I'm a servant of Lord Chaitanya, I'm a servant of Lord Chaitanya, I'm a servant of Lord Chaitanya. When I think it was Draupadi was asking the queens of Dwarka, how did you meet Krishna? How did you become married to Krishna? And they'll talk about the stories of how they became either kidnapped by Krishna, or then Krishna controlled all these 7 bulls and then was given in charity. So all these stories that they told Draupadi. And then they said, so now I'm just a maidservant in the palace of Krishna. So this is the basis of, this is the mood of those gopis. They feel, I can serve Krishna best in this conjugal rasa, as a conjugal lover of Krishna. This is what gives Krishna the greatest pleasure. And this becoming a servant of Krishna, that's our constitutional position. This is the goal of bhakti, to become a servant of Krishna. Savapari vinimuktan taptanapayana mamalam Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Uchite. By engaging our senses in the service of the Masters of the senses, all designations to this material world, all parties are removed, and our senses become purified. This is the process of bhakti. That any designation, all the labels that we have on this world, man, woman, nationality, Indian, American, Bulgarian, Slovenian, Indian, Nepali, I'm looking at all the rich and poor, Australian at the back, hang on. Yes, all these upadhis removed. Even job descriptions. I like to tell this, that my first job was a rat catcher. No, I'm not that. Some people identify with your property as well, It's a part of me. My house is a part of me. The clothes I wear, this is who I am. But no, these are all subject to change. These have nothing to do with us. The only thing is that actually fulfills the essence of the soul, the Sanatana Dharma, is service to Krishna. Watering the root of the tree fulfills the nourishment of all the parts and parcels of the tree. Watering the root of our existence, Krishna, with our love, with our service, without wanting anything in return, gives us nourishment of the heart beyond our own capacity. We have an ocean of love to give, but we always put it somewhere limited. That's why we get limited reciprocation, and then comes frustration. This is the material love. This is lust. Amendriya priti vanchitare barakam, kishendriya priti ichedare premanam. That lust is just trying to fulfill the demands of the body and its extensions. But love is trying to fulfill the desires of Krishna, to please the senses of Krishna. And the gopis of Vrindavan knew how to do that to the highest extent. That they purchased Krishna. The Mayavadis, they're very ambitious. They want to be God. They want to be Krishna. This is, yes, don't you know? It's all one. I am Krishna, you are Krishna, we are all Krishna. You just haven't realized it. So it sounds very ambitious to be God. But the devotees are even more ambitious. They want to control Krishna with their love. So there's this conquering of the heart of Krishna that takes place when the gopis of Vrindavan run at once, hearing the flute of Krishna. And Krishna tests them even further, to intensify their love even further. Why have you come? It's the dead of night. It's very dangerous here. Go home. What? You called us all the way? We're not going anywhere. There's nothing to go to. There's only your lotus feet that we wish to have on our hearts. So then he says, yes, I will stay. And what happens again? He disappears again, intensifying the love further. And they didn't phase. They didn't think, this Krishna is useless, we're not going to deal with him anymore. No, no matter what, they went crazy, they went mad. Running all over the forest, asking the earth, have you seen Krishna? The trees, have you seen Krishna? Tulsi, you are at the feet of the Lord, have you seen Krishna? Even we see a pastime that Krishna disguised himself as Lord Narayan with 4 hands. And the gopis are running. Oh, Supreme Personality, my Lord Narayan, they paid obeisances. Please accept our obeisances. Have you seen Krishna? And then when Srimati Radharani came, he couldn't maintain his disguise and was found again. So again, Krishna returns. And the gopis are saying, what kind of lover are you? 3 types. There's the lover that just gives to the relationship, but doesn't worry about getting anything in return. There's the lover that is like, gives as much love as being received, doesn't overdo it. And then there's one who just receives and doesn't give back. Which lover are you? Krishna says, I'm a 4th type. I'm the one that intensifies, increased loves within my devotees. This is the gift. There's nothing I can give you. You have purchased me. I cannot reciprocate with this, even though we have this verse here, yata mam papantante. I reward you according to surrender. I cannot do this. Krishna cannot leave Nanda and Yashoda, cannot run away from his friends, all his social obligations, he can't run away from. But the gopis did that for Krishna. Just be happy with the service that you've had, the love that you achieved. So I remember first time reading this, the 10th canto, and it happened when I was on the Polish tour, first time. That's where I met your sons. Because what happened, I was in Australia, and my spiritual master gave me the instruction. He says, if you want to conquer Laos, make Harinam big. I was like, okay, this is the instruction. Let's go, you know. And I was still quite fairly new devotee in the temple, and I would push Harinam like anything. I came from a design background, so I was putting posters of the next Harinam. Any sannyasi that would walk into the temple, Maharaj, come for Harinam, you know, like this. I was shameless, I didn't care. Any devotee that moved was around the corner, Prabhu, Mataji, let's go for Harinam. You're coming on Tuesday, coming on Friday, let's go, you know. I just made it like, I was really fanatic, unfortunately. I didn't know how to be suave about it. And, but Krishna reciprocated. I mean, we had like 3 devotees on every Harinam, and then within a year it built to like 60 devotees every Harinam. And yeah, I tried my very best. So then what happened, there was like the book marathon, so everyone's focusing on books. And there was an order from the management that no more Harinam. And before that was Kartik, and I made a vow like to do at least 30 minutes of Harinam every day. And that was the best month of my life in the temple. It was really nice. Because usually like you do Harinam, and the Australians, they go, oh, I haven't seen you in 30 years, where you been, mate? Like this. But after that month, you would hear comments like, oh, these guys are around lately. So I was like, it was so much fun, actually, and I wanted to keep it going. But then there was this order. And we had younger devotees in the ashram, so I didn't want to make a bad impression, like, okay, go against your authority. But I had this instruction, you know, what to do. You know, and you know they knew I was really fanatic. It's like, don't think you can plan Harinams behind our backs. So then I would sneak out and do Harinam. I didn't. So now they know, I guess. I would sneak out and do Harinam, and they were a lot of fun. I mean, there was a time, the first time I snuck out. We went inside, I was doing books because it was a marathon, and I was like, I can't, I have to do it. And we went into this mall, and you can't do Harinam in malls, but I said I didn't care, you know, I was like, I went this far. And started chanting in the mall, and everyone's joining in, everyone's waving, and some books are even going out, and then security came. And then they say, you can't do this here. And I didn't care, I just kept chatting, you know. And one of them got violent, they just grabbed my arm, and then like started like, you know, locking me up. And with the other hand, I'm playing the drum, you know. I'm like, Hare Krishna! And the guy's just like, stop doing this, saying stupid things. Krishna can't hear you, Krishna can't hear you, you know. And I didn't care, I chanted more, you know. And then I was like, I was very happy, you know. I was like, yeah, we did it, you know. But then, as I was going to the car, then one man yelled out to us, you know. It's like, wait, come back here. Wait. I'm like, oh, here we go. You know, listen, what they did to you in the mall, that's illegal. They can't do that. They can't just manhandle you for no reason. So what I did, I got a meeting with you guys and the guys in charge of the mall, you know, the executive heads kind of thing. So come on, you know, so okay, took the box of books and came in. It was like this boardroom and everything, and then there's like these suits sitting there, and this 2 security guards were like, because they thought they had like a lawsuit on their hands. So we sat down, and the mall boss goes, so what are you doing here? I go, we're just spreading joy. You know, it's Christmas, so we're just making people happy, you know. He's like, oh, we don't have religion here. But what is Christmas? I said. It's like, no, but if we let you in, then we have to let the other religions in. I go, yeah, why not? And then eventually came to the point here, here's some books. We're just like monks and give some charity, you know. So he understood, like, if we just bought the books, then we wouldn't make a problem. And then we went out there. But because of this ban, I was like still like really shook up about it. I really wanted to do Harinam, and I felt like so restricted because I had this instruction. And I was so depressed. At the same time, Kadamba Kamaraj was promoting the book marathon in South Africa by inviting Harinam Ruchi there. So there was like videos of them doing Harinam on like the beach in Africa, and all these Africans are dancing like crazy and the coolest moves, and just crowds of people joining in. I was like, oh, I have to be with them. I have to do it. And it gave me some hope. Eventually, Maharaj said, go on the Polish tour. And, they do Harinam every day to promote the festival. I was like, yeah, this is amazing. I love this. This is so dynamic. It was the most dynamic preacher I ever saw in my life. We all sleep in a school, and there's like 200, 300 devotees, and there's all like this vibe for preaching. Let's just go give the mercy. It was like the coolest temple environment ever, I could say. So I was happy. I got to do Harinam every day, no restriction whatsoever, and I'm with devotees who love doing Harinam. And I just finished reading about the gopis just like feeling so much separation, and then like Krishna intensifying in love. It didn't make any sense to me. Why was this such like a good feeling? To have Krishna taken away from you. It doesn't make sense. So then I was on the bus, and then the head of the organizer of the Polish tour says, okay, Harinamananda, you went on Harinam every day already, take a rest, stay back. I was like, no, no way. I came all the way here, and I fought so much to do Harinam, now I'm here, and I could do it every day, why? It's like, no, you have to stay back, give other people a chance. And I was like, this is the first time I got kicked off a Harinam party, my gosh, And I was like, the emotion was like, why? It was like, I'd rather die now, This is the worst feeling ever, And I'm walking out, and I'm like so angry, and I couldn't say anything because I don't know anyone, and there's nothing for me to do. I'm just stuck. And I'm walking towards back into the school, and the devotees who were in charge of the organizing the Harinam thing itself, part of the Polish tour, they start walking to the bus, and they see me. They, hey, where are you going? And they kicked me off. I was like, they kicked me off. And he's like, hey, don't worry, you come on, like this. I was like, huh? He said, yeah, come on. So then when I came back onto the bus, and devotees who knew me and what I went through, they're like, oh, you're back? I was like, yeah, I'm back. I was like, it's like this relief, but this whole eagerness to do that service, that it was taken away. And then the eagerness just went through the roof to want to serve Krishna in that, in this service, to serve my spiritual master's instruction. That's the gift. So in the same way, Krishna gave that gift to the gopis of Vrindavan to increase their eagerness to serving more. This is where our happiness lies, that we can be more eager to serve Krishna more and more. This is what Lord Chaitanya has given us through this Harinam Sankirtan, that we can increase our love more and more. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Savakoranaya Shravanadi Sudachita Koriyayadai. That love of God is already in your heart. It's not from an outside source. And it gets awakened by Shravanadi, starting with hearing and what follows hearing, chanting. This love has never been offered before. In previous incarnations, even previous Kali Yuga incarnations, you could only achieve that awe and reverence of Vaikuntha. But this intensity of love of the residents of Vrindavan, that was only given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we see that happening at Rath Yatra. Rath Yatra is coming up. It's not just a social event. It's when one can really be a servant of Lord Chaitanya, assist him in increasing his desperation to bring Krishna back to Vrindavan. Lord Chaitanya says so many prayers at the beginning of Rath Yatra. And Jagannath comes out early this year for Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Chaitanya in the mood of Srimati Radharani is calling out to Lord Jagannath. You are the same Krishna, I'm the same Radharani. But it's not the same. And people have, their hearts and minds are the same. And my mind is Vrindavan. And I want you to place your lotus feet there. So this is the mood of Rath Yatra, actually. That you have the opportunity to assist Lord Chaitanya, to assist Srimati Radharani in her service to give pleasure to Krishna. Most of the time we go there and it's like, hey, how you doing? Take a selfie, pull the rope a bit, go for a walk. But no, this whole thing of Rath Yatra is actually seeing the Lord and desperately bringing him back to our hearts, to make our hearts Vrindavan and bring him back. Pull the rope in such a way, chant in such a way, dance in such a way, to assist Lord Chaitanya and his associates to increase the love of Godhead. This is to become mad is our goal of this Krishna consciousness movement. I'll stop here and I'll see if there's any comments or questions. Please forgive me if I've speaking above my pay grade. We'll see if anyone has any thoughts. In the back.
I'm just wondering why you did from Okay, for people online also, I'm just wondering why you were not allowed to do Harinam, why temple management came up with such a decision.
Yeah, it's Krishna's pastimes. Because usually when you get something very easily, you don't use, your tendency is to be, familiar with it. Yeah, it's there, whatever, it's okay. So this was an opportunity to really fight for the service. Krishna was testing how sincere I was. Do I really want to do Harinam every day or not? And usually when you work hard for something and you push yourself beyond your own, outside your comfort zone, well, I had to do it for this service. So then when there's any threat of it being taken away, you can't, you don't want to let go of it. You protect it. So I feel like it was Krishna's mercy upon me, and it was worked through the devotees, like the temple management. So I think that's why. Is that okay? Yeah. Prabhu?
Krishna, thank you for a very nice presentation. Very personal, the way you presented your attachment to Harinam. Based on that question, Prabhupada has dealt with that in several occasions. First occasion was, he said it's like massaging your father, two sons. One son is attached. Now the father wants to switch or to, and they only want to do that. So Prabhupada said that's service, but it's not the topmost service. The topmost service is doing what the person that you're serving wants you to do. And then he gave a very graphic example of Arjuna. Arjuna did not want to fight that war. He did not want to do it. But he wanted to do it. So this is part of the process of surrender. When we come to Krishna consciousness, at the first, in the beginning we may be very lazy. We don't want to do anything practically. But then we become attached to something, distributing books or this Harinam or administration or whatever. You get attached to it. Surrender is when the spiritual master says, I know you're doing a good job here, but I want you to do this other thing. And you're saying, no, no, no. So many examples of Prabhupada. Prabhupada wanted one devotee who was in New Zealand. There was a temple president there to go and be a temple president somewhere else. And he was so attached he didn't want to do it. So eventually Prabhupada left him there. Mm-hmm. So the other devotees asked Prabhupada, why didn't you order him to give up that service and take the other one? Prabhupada said, if I ordered him and he said no, it would have been an offense. So I left it up to him. So sometimes, yes, the spiritual master will leave it up to you. But the highest level is when you voluntarily do what the spiritual master wants you, even when you don't want to do it. That's surrender. It's a process of surrender, not a process of doing what I want to do.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I wanted to mention this point. So one of the prayers of Lord Chaitanya Rath Yatra was, I'm not a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra. I'm not a Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi. I'm the servant of Krishna, who is the maintainer of the gopis. So that's all we are. Our real designation is simply a servant of the spiritual master. And from there, acting in that way, even though the process of parampara is indirect, the experience of Krishna's reciprocation is direct. So we may have designations within the Krishna consciousness movement, book distributor, Harinam devotee, a pujari, so many things. But simply we're just a servant of the spiritual master. And whatever he wants, that's what we'll do. And it's very hard to come to that point, to be open to that. But we should pray that we can somehow eventually give up our plans and be moved by the spiritual master. And a life like that is just simply magic, actually. So, did you want to add? Oh, thank you. You incited that out of me. Thank you. Mataji, sorry.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. That was absolutely an amazing class. It was definitely very moving. It's not just the philosophy, but you definitely penetrated a lot of points just by your analogy and your life experience. May you please elaborate a little bit more about maintaining one's enthusiasm, especially out on book distribution, right, as we're all going after. Sometimes we get a little bit discouraged. But how do you maintain your own energy? And also, how do you translate that into encouraging other people, other devotees?
Yeah, forgive me, I was supposed to mention the monthly Sankirtan festival today.
Yes, that's why I was like, please.
And yes, we'll be leaving at 11. We'll be doing Harinam and going to, was it Brooklyn Park? Yes, Brooklyn Park. We'll have a table there and kirtan, and we're doing it all together. So to answer your question first, how to stay encouraged on the streets. It's always easier amongst other devotees. If you're alone, it's a bit more tough. My main inspiration, enthusiasm for being out there is the reading of Srimad Bhagavatam. That's the fire that fuels me. That's probably the short answer. To comment further on the monthly Sankirtan Festival, it's a great opportunity if you're very apprehensive about getting out there and approaching people. Doing it amongst a group and seeing other people do it, at least you'll give it a try. And yes, Vaisheshika says, touch the pavement. Just that enough is a success, just to get over that threshold out the door is very nice. When we heard this, when we heard this statement, we were on our way to Harinam in Belgium. So Vishnujan, he's in charge of Harinam Ruchi. So, it's like, yeah, just getting out the door is a success. So Vishnujan joked, he's like, okay, so we can go home now. But yeah, no, you should do something out there. And it's okay. If someone says no, that's okay. They're just not ready now. Just go to the next person. There's always, Krishna will send. Jamasmi Prabhu.
The first time I went out on Sankirtan was Naranjana Swami. He was a brahmachari at that time, and he was in Hartford, Connecticut. And this was, can you hear all right?
I think
Loud enough?
more
I gotta kiss it, huh? Okay.
yeah.
Where's our sound man? Maybe he needs to turn the volume up. So he had a center there that he was in charge of, and new bhaktas from Boston and new bhaktas from New York went there to get trained up on book distribution. And he took me out for the first, and whew, boy, it was like ecstatic. I was just so on fire, to get out, and it really went well. And then that was Saturday night, and the next day was Sunday. No one went out on Sunday. We had a big feast Sunday night. And the next day, Brigupati, who's still distributing books in LA, he's number 2 in North America. Yeah, I think he's probably close to 70, if not past that. So that means he's yeah, and I'm a year older than he is. I felt really, was kind of like, had the post-Sunday feast blues. I told Brigupati, I don't really feel like going out. And then he told me a pastime that he was in a similar situation on the Radha Damodar bus party. And he revealed his mind to Vishnu Jan Swami, and Vishnu Jan Swami gave him the magic formula. He said, well, you may not feel fired up now, but you remember what it's like, what it's like when you were fired up. So just act that way. Krishna will see you're trying, and he'll make you fired up. So I did it, and it worked. And I did this for years when I was Sankirtan leader in 7 temples. And it was like the magic formula to get people moving, particularly on Monday morning after the big feast. So that's what Krishna's looking for. He's looking for, well, we're trying, even though the mind may be shutting us down and, the modes may be whacking us around. But if we just really try hard, then Krishna will give us that utsaha. And, we'll just be on fire. Tigache? That's Bangla for okay.
Tigache. Balo. Okay. Anyone else? Thank you very much. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, monthly Sankirtan festival ki jai. Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Hare Krishna. So, yes, there'll be training here at 10 o'clock from Jamasmi Puru. You're just part of it. It's upstairs in the loft. So, yes. So if you've never done it, it's okay. There'll be a little training for you guys. Thank you.